All right, good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Belvedere City Council Committee of the Whole meeting of December 22nd, 2025. If the clerk will help me with the roll call, please.
Albertini.
Here.
Brereton.
Here.
Flurry.
Here.
Frank.
Here.
Gramkowski. Here. Hoynes.
Here.
McGee.
Here.
Montalbano.
Here.
Peterson.
Here.
Stevens.
Here.
10 present.
All right, thank you. We do not have anybody registered for public comment this evening. There is no public forum here this evening. Flipping the page, reports of officers, boards, and special committees. Item 1, public safety unfinished business. We have none this evening. Item 2, public safety new business. Item A, police department update. Chief Woody is not with us here this evening, but we are graced with DC Smaha. DC,
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening, council members and Mr. Mayor and all other dignitaries. Our update tonight is Chief Woody has currently completed his FBI Law Enforcement Executive Development Association training last week, and he completed the trilogy of supervisory, command, and executive level trainings. It's another example of our department emphasizing education and training, and we would like to thank the council for all your support, providing the necessary resources that allow us to accomplish these goals every year, as our supervisors, from myself to the sergeants, are also taking these classes also. So that is greatly appreciated. We do have tomorrow on at 9 o'clock here at the chambers, we are swearing in 3 new officers. Those officers are Zach Amundsen, Jacob Sampson, and William Drop. They will be attending the Sauk Valley Academy starting on January 5th and will be done approximately, I believe, last week of April. We do have 3 officers that are currently in step 4, Ethan Shook, Austin Smaha, and Mohammed Raymond. They are scheduled to be released in the first 2 weeks of January to go to solo patrol. So we will have 3 new officers on. And we also are welcoming 2 new graduates from Sauk Valley, Officer Jarrett Janisek and Officer David Sanders, who started both on shift today. As of tonight, I appreciate the mayor showing up at the village of Cedar Green tonight for Meet the Santa that the police department put on for the kids up there. Santa Claus was there, and the kids were having a good time, and I had to leave to come here. So that is our report for tonight. Thank you.
All right, thank you. If anybody has any questions for Deputy Chief Smaha, feel free to ask. Alderman Albertini.
Thank you, Mayor. What time is that tomorrow morning?
That will be at 9 a.m.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. Thank you, DC. Nice to see you this evening. Item B, Fire Department update. We have Chief Shadle is gone, is absent, but we have Captain Dave Burdick in here tonight. Good evening, Dave.
Good evening. Thank you, Mayor. A report this past month, in the last 30 days, we've had 285 calls for service. Of those, 219 have been medical calls, which transpired into 16 transports to Javon Bay Hospital, 74 transports to St. Anthony Medical Center, 20 transports to UW Rockford, and 53 transports to UW Belvedere. As of December 17th, our EMS revenue is $867,933.97. Next Monday, December 29th, we'll be swearing in our new firefighter, Kane Lander, at 9:30 a.m. He will be replacing Matt Loudenbeck, who is having an open house December 30th from 1 to 2 p.m. Matt's put in almost 25 years with us and will be retiring. And we also have had the completion of Station 1 and Station 2 concrete projects. So Station 2 is wrapped up the curing process. Hopefully we'll be driving on that pretty soon. So
All right.
that's it.
Thank you, Captain. Any questions at all for Captain Burdick? Feel free to ask. Floor is open. All right, Alderman Peterson.
Thank you. I do, Mayor. Just one question on the nature of the EMS. Do you break out any of the OD type, the opiate overdose type calls? Have you guys been doing that?
Chief Shadle asked me to put some numbers together a week or so ago. I don't know if he presented those, but based on our current trends, there really hasn't been an increase in call volume over the last 3 to 4 years for us.
I wonder, Captain, if it would be possible to get on those 3 to 4 years, to be able to get a count, so that we know by comparison what those are, what they run.
Yeah, definitely. I did give those numbers to Chief Shadle, so
Okay.
I'll mention it to him, and hopefully he can have those for you next week.
Sure, thank you. Thank you. Any other questions for Captain Burdick? All right, thanks again, Captain. Item 3, Finance and Personnel. Unfinished business, we have none. Item 4, Finance and Personnel. New business, A, Finance Department update. Director Turnipseed, good evening.
Good evening. It is once again budget season. Department heads are currently compiling their budget requests, and the mayor and I will be meeting with each department in early January to review the proposed numbers. Council members are encouraged to reach out if they would like to review budget items or discuss ideas prior to the introduction of the proposed budget. I'm happy to schedule a time to go over any questions or suggestions. We are planning to hold a budget meeting on Saturday, February 21st, 2026 at 8:30 a.m., during which time the proposed budget will be presented. Additional discussion, if any, will take place at the March 9th, 2026 Committee of the Whole meeting with the intent to forward the budget for the first reading March 16th, 2026. The public hearing and the second reading of the budget ordinance will be scheduled for April 6th, 2026. And that's all I have.
Okay, thank you. Director Turnipseed, any questions for Mrs. Turnipseed? Feel free to ask. I know she'll be more than happy to answer them. All right, hearing none. 4B, in your memo is a packet, in your packet is a memo, that being an ordinance revising the 2026 budget adopted. That would be 718H. Director Turnipseed.
Sure. Before you tonight is an ordinance revising the fiscal year 2026 budget. City Council has determined that it is in the city's best interest to increase the salaries of the Superintendent of Public Works and the Assistant Director of Public Works in every effort to attract and retain qualified individuals, which is reflected in the attached Exhibit B of the fiscal year 2026 budget. Increasing the salary of the Assistant Public Works Director to $114,000 and the Street, Water, and Sewer Superintendent to $106,000. Tonight, I would be looking for a request. I would request a motion to forward the ordinance revising the fiscal year 2026 budget, reflecting the increase of the salary of the Assistant Public Works Director to $114,000 and the Street, Water, Sewer Superintendent to $106,000.
Okay, thank you. If I could have a motion to that effect. Motion by Alderman Peterson, second by Alderman Hoynes. Thank you both. Any questions, any comments regarding that motion? The floor is open. Feel free to ask. Alderwoman Gramkowski.
Thank you, Mayor. So we do have a set figure, but don't we have a range based on experience? I'm just curious why we don't do that.
We do not anymore. Prior to the recession, the city used what was euphemistically called the matrix. So every position had essentially a starting salary. And then every year, there might be a cost of living adjustment approved by the council, and every 2 years, that position would get a step increase of 2%. Effectively worked out to be averaging really 4% raises almost every year with the cost of living approvals back then. With the recession, the city abandoned that plan. And since that time, since 2010, it has only been what's approved at any given year by the city council for the positions.
Is there any thought to bringing that back to have a salary range? I'm just basing it on experience because you may have candidates that have 10 years' experience and others that have 2.
Yeah, we have, and frankly, every time we looked at it, the administration, and again, we've been doing this really since about 2013, looking at doing it. it comes back to the same thing, that they just don't want to bite the bullet on the potential cost of creating that kind of a system, because if your entry-level position is going to be basically what you're paying people now, which is what it works out to be, you're talking about artificially increasing that incumbent salary significantly to give them those years of service increases. It is something the city's going to have to do eventually.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions? Any other comments regarding the motion on the floor? Feel free. If anybody else has any other comments or questions. All right, hearing none, all those in favor of the motion on the floor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And if there's any opposed, all right. Motion passed, thank you. Item 5, other unfinished business, we do not have any. Item 6, other new business. Item A, IT services. 6A, in your packet is a memo from City Attorney Mike Drella dated 12/18 of 2025 regarding IT services. I assume all of you have had a chance to read it. And on the backside of this is a comparable that the city had went out for requests for proposals. City Attorney, did you have anything that you wanted to add?
The memo's fairly, at least initially, explanatory. It comes to you in the old days. I've always worn a lot of hats, but in the old days, I was the IT guy also, which was kind of scary. A quick aside, the way it developed was when I first started with the city in 2003, I walked into my new office at the old City Hall, down the hall from where former Mayor Peterson's office was. And I walked in, there was a guy sitting at a table like this. And I realized that this table in the foyer was the city's server, literally in the foyer where anybody could see what was going on. And he was working on it. And I thought, that's weird. Who are you? Well, I'm the IT consultant, and this is what's wrong with the server. And my background, I have a background in IT, but not a real strong one, but I knew enough that this was a fairly easy fix. I went to lunch, and he's still going like this. I came back from lunch, and I'm still going like this. I said, you haven't fixed it yet? He said, no. I said, you're fired. And I called Entree Computer Systems, who charged about twice as much as he charged on an hourly basis, and they had it fixed in half an hour. So from that day on, I became kind of the IT guy, with Entree Computer Solutions being the backup for anything that was heavy lifting. Fast forward several years, they became very expensive, and we basically hired the county's IT guy at the time to be on the side at night, weekends, whatever, to backstop that position. About 6 years ago, we hit with a very bad ransomware attack. In part caused because you had a city attorney trying to play IT manager. In part caused by not having any one person really keeping everything up to date as far as your virus protection and malware protection. So Sheriff Ernest at the time really saved our bacon. The guy that was backstopping was actually the IT director for the sheriff's office, but I hadn't been calling him very much. And we had internally talked about, hey, wouldn't it be nice to have one server farm for everybody and get them all together and have one team managing everything? Sheriff Ernest graciously gave us his entire team of IT specialists, saved our bacon. We're able to recreate the backup like we had backups. We only lost 1 day's of data. We did not have to pay the $1 million ransom to have ourselves back up and running. But from that time until now, we entered into an IGA where they provide all IT support to the city of Belvedere. And that has included hosting all of our servers on their hypervisor servers, hosting all of our email accounts, providing all client support, and actually now currently providing all of our internet services as well through their internet service providers. They did so at a significantly cheap rate, between $60,000 and $70,000 a year up until now. That contract, it expired or is expiring. Nobody ever bothered dating the agreement when they signed it, but it would have expired probably this last May or this coming April, depending on which date you look at. And they sought a very significant increase in the cost of providing those services, initially $140,000 a year. Quite frankly, when they said that, I'm like, well, that's a big increase, but it's about what it costs us on the market, or probably less. But the mayor directed us to go out for a request for proposal, which was the right thing to do. And we sent out a plethora of requests to different entities in the region asking for proposals. We only received 3 back, which surprised me. I expected a few more. One was from Entree Computer Solutions. One is from Petrie Design, who does our current website. And then one was from Sundog. And those are the first 3 on that spreadsheet that I tendered in the back of your memo. Sundog obviously is a non-starter. They wanted $290,000 to migrate all of our current data and email into their systems, and then $600,000 a year in support services contract. The remaining 2, Entree and Petrie Design, are both ballpark with each other, and frankly, the mayor was able to talk to the county and get them to whittle or sharpen their pencils, bringing their cost down from $140,000 a year to $120,000 a year. So if you look in the far right column, I realize they're not actually columns, but the far right side of your paper, what those numbers represent are the total cost per year after any migration. Migration is going to be more expensive, obviously, to provide the support services, and neither Entree nor Petrie Design will provide the internet. We have 2 sites that need internet, both Station 1 as well as City Hall. Station 2's internet is provided currently through the county as part of the old former 911 setup. But that internet cost for the 2 sites together will be between $15,000 and $18,000 a year, so I rounded to $17,000 a year. So I built that in that far right-hand column into the Entree quote as well as the Petrie Design quote. The county's quote includes internet. What it does not include is a cost of about $300 per month per site to create a fiber link between us and Boone County. That's already there. But again, total, that's about $600 a month. So that is baked into their number on the far right-hand side. One thing that the council should be aware of, obviously, a few things. Entrees is expressed as a range, $139,000 up to $172,000 a year. And again, these are truly kind of estimates to some extent. The reason theirs is expressed as a range is they will not flat fee their support services. They charge you an hourly rate that you buy in blocks of time, 10 up to 100 hours at a time, and they discount it based upon how much you use. So really the question is how often you call them. So what I was able to do is contact the county's IT department. They gave me an estimate of how many times we requested service, just for City Hall and just for Fire and Public Works. Police is completely separate. They're on the PSB contract. Surprisingly, we are the second highest utilization of services for the entire county, only behind the health department. I was shocked at that. That being said, I was able to take the number of times we called for service and extrapolate that out to what we'd be utilizing from Entree, depending on how much services we used. So that's where that range came from, roughly 140,000 up to 172,000. 172,000, if you assume a half an hour per service call for all the times we've used in the last year, that's what it would be. The Petrie Design quote, as stated in my memo, is essentially $209,000 for the first 15 months. The reason why that side is higher is they are baking in their cost of migration, setting up new servers and things like that into that first 15 months. Then the price drops down to $117,500 per year. Once you add in the internet, it jumps to about $134,500 per year. Their quote does include client support. However, they have often said repeatedly their goal is that we don't call them. They want to teach us to help ourselves rather than rely upon them. Sundog, as I said, is a non-starter at $600,000 a year. And then the county is at $127,200 a year. That does include the fiber links between us and the county. It does not include, and I should go back, the Petrie Design quote includes a migration of the fire department servers to new servers. It does not include migrating the fire department's emails to our email system. And the reason why is Petrie is going to be utilizing Microsoft 365. It's a cloud-based solution, including email. That runs about $30 per user. Currently, once we fix some of the way the things that the fire department is doing, because they use Gmail, that would be about $15 a user. So it's cheaper to have them if we go to 365. However, their current solution is not ideal. We probably do need to migrate them for FOIA purposes and Local Records Retention Act purposes. If we do that, that will increase Petrie Design's cost by about $10,000 a year. So that $134,000 turns into $144,000 if we do the migration of the emails for the fire department. The county quote includes all the migrations of the fire department servers as well as their emails under our current email systems. That will cost the city an additional about $30 per fire officer, figure 29 sworn fire officers, I believe, including the chief. And the reason for that is we'll have to buy a licensed CAL on the Microsoft Exchange server, but that's a one-time fee, not monthly. So it's up for the council. I'll answer any questions that you might have as to which route you want to go.
And before we do that, I wanted to point out that I think a lot of times employees, myself included, are quick to call or fill out a ticket for IT support. It seems to be something that probably has been done here for the last maybe 5 years since the county had it, but I'm not sure that that isn't some of our own. That is some of our own issues.
Mm-hmm.
But if anybody has any questions regarding that, certainly feel free to ask. Alderman Peterson.
Thanks, Mayor. I feel more comfortable, I think, putting it on a pay-per-service kind of basis rather than, time and materials to me always seems like a better way to go, and the outcome might be a little bit hard to quantify like what this is. And I would also say I think I feel more comfortable in terms of errors and omissions on behalf of the whichever vendor we choose, that we're with continuing with Boone County, we leave, I think, city taxpayers on the hook to pay for any failures and omissions, where I think if we contract with Entree or Petrie, I think we at least have a fiduciary that's gonna have to take responsibility for if there's, future issues like what we've been through.
They do not know. That kind of a malware attack is completely not covered by any kind of omissions or lawsuit or claim along those lines, unless you can somehow prove, good luck, that they did something negligently. But no, that would not necessarily be a basis for making a decision as far as the errors and omissions type of insurance coverage. And the other, going from that perspective, Entree is a fairly large corporation. Petrie is a smaller one. It'd be very easily for them to reorganize if they wanted to, if there was a significant claim.
Would it be a stronger likelihood that they're gonna be able to provide a firewall, probably a better firewall with a level of expertise in their employees that would hopefully keep that from happening?
I'd say they're equivalent at best. The two, if you're comparing by actually either one of the three, any of the three, they're all perfectly capable of providing the same level of service and protection, frankly. One of the problems I've actually had with the county, I'll give you an example, is they took away all administrative privileges from any city employee. We cannot install, even if you want to install a PDF reader on your computer, you cannot do so unless you call them and they log in and they're the ones to install it to make sure it's coming from a reputable site. You can't, I should never admit this, but I decided to check my bank statement from my computer one time. I can't do it. It's blocked. I can't get to it. Because for whatever reason, they didn't like the security on Midland State Bank's website for that, and so they blocked it. And Petrie would probably be doing the same thing, and Entree is capable of doing that as well. They all basically use the same equipment. Both Petrie and Entree would be more cloud-based, whereas the county is actually locally hosted. So you have perhaps an easier way of rebuilding if there was some kind of attack. The only other benefit really to having it local is if there was an internet outage, we'd still have internet through the county and access to our files because we have a direct link to them and they have redundant ISPs. So they're more likely to be able to give us service in the event of a internet failure. But otherwise, I'd say they're pretty much all equivalent as far as that goes.
Alderwoman Gramkowski first, and then Alderwoman Frank.
Thank you. So with the county hosting the server, what about the privacy? And then, that's a question of mine. And one more thing about being blocked, like Google searches and stuff. We all use Google search during our days. Are they gonna block really insignificant sites? I mean, some that aren't known to attack?
I have not had much of an issue with that other than checking my bank statement. You won't be able to download most stuff without them allowing you to do so, and as much as that at times frustrates myself, I don't know about anybody else in the city, it's probably a good thing. They do have, I didn't know this, but they actually have a separate server set up where you can download common programs. And Petrie does the same thing so that they've already vetted them, you can get those onto your computer. But as far as your question about security vis-a-vis the county or anybody else they provide services to, best way, they're completely segregated and separate. Our server cannot be seen by the county. We cannot see the county servers. Same thing, they do some work for some of the townships and what have you. So it is all completely segregated and nobody can see each other's work. One of the weird benefits is because we're on the same phone system, if I need to call any other employee of the county or the city on the phone system, it's a simple extension, big deal. I can call a phone number as well. But you are on the same system as far as phone systems go. You want to email a county employee, if you guys log into your email accounts, and you start typing in a county employee's name, it'll populate with their email address because the email server will recognize that. But no, nobody can see each other's work, nor can they see each other's emails.
So you had mentioned cloud-based. Everybody's going to cloud-based. What charge would that be if they decide to do that?
The county? They're not. If they did, we'd be looking at renegotiating a new contract out with them or going to bid again. The reason why they have not is they looked at doing that 3 or 4 years ago. In fact, I was questioning their director, Joel, about this. They chose not to go that route because it was too expensive, believe it or not. There's kind of a sweet spot for smaller organizations to jump to the cloud, and it's actually economical to do so, or very large organizations. But you get into groups, basically city and county combined, or just the county by itself. It was, especially on the mail side, it was cheaper for them to go out and buy an email server, an Exchange server, and manage it in-house than to use Microsoft 365 because it's a large one-time upfront expense. But once you buy that server, it's good for 5 or 8 years, along with the user licenses. They're good for 5 or 8 years. Live 360 or Microsoft 365 is $30 per user per month. So it gets to be expensive for groups our size, and Microsoft does not offer the volume discounts for groups our size, which is why they went that route. I don't see them moving to the cloud anytime soon, but if they did, we'd have to have a conversation at that point.
Okay. Anybody else have any questions? Alderwoman Frank, you have your hand up? Mhm.
Attorney Drella answered my question, but my concern was if we're with a city or with a county and like say there is ransomware or the system goes down, is that a detriment that we're connected? Because then both the city and the county are down.
No, they're not. Again, we are on separate servers, just simply hosted by the county. So if something happens to us, they're completely protected. If something happens to them, we're completely protected. To give you an idea, and I don't want to like I'm trying to sell one over the other. I'll explain this. The county currently runs 4 different, called a box, your old computer boxes. Each box has electronic versions of all of our servers running on it. So, and they're all linked in real time, but separated so that viruses can't get to them. They're all firewalled off from each other. So if one of those servers goes down, we'll never even realize it, we'll still be operating. If a second one goes down, we'll realize it because things will slow down, but we'll still be operating. It's not until you lose 3 of the 4 that it gets to be an issue, because then they shut down that last one until they rebuild the other ones, because they want to make sure they don't lose everything at that point. If you go with either Entree or Petrie, you do not have that kind of redundancy. They will be backing them up, and they can restore it. Might take 4 or 8 hours or something like that for them to do it, but you don't have that same level of redundancy as we have with the county. But again, they are all segregated, they're separate. I suppose if the director of the IT department wanted to get into something, he's got passwords, but he's the only one with them, so. And again, and on the Petrie side, because they're cloud-based, they're actually they'd be hosting our servers as well as, well, Petrie would be hosting our servers in the cloud. We would have our own machine, but again, it's going through the cloud and is subject to the same kind of concerns you'd have with the county or Entree.
Okay. Alderman Albertini?
Thank you, Mayor. It's a two-part question. In the past, dealing with the county, have we incurred any difficulties or problems with them? And in the future, do you foresee any problems dealing with the county?
I would say the only 2 problems we've had with the county are the sticker shock of seeing more than a doubling of what we're paying currently. That was sticker shock. Frankly, we were probably taking advantage of them at the $60,000 to $70,000 a year. That's just what, because nobody could price at the time, that's what Sheriff Ernest back in the day quoted us. But that was a shocker. It caused our jaws to drop. The other only real problem we've had, frankly, is with the construction. They have redundant everything, but somehow construction crews managed to cut through their lines, and we lost internet for a period of time, a couple times in the last 6 months. But other than that, no, it's been pretty smooth sailing. The nice thing is you call them, they're here usually within 5 minutes to fix something.
John, there's another part to your question that you asked, and I'll answer it. So when I saw their bid that had doubled, I was dismayed because I had thought that when we looked at it, the city had already invested in the servers. We had already invested in the county servers, and they had always provided the same service to us, and it would be the same service going forward, basically. It's the same service. So I had to ask myself, why would we be paying 100% more of what we were paying, 70 to 140? And I will tell you that I think sometimes there's a good thing when you have, and we have Petrie now, they had done our website. I thought they did a great job. And I'm not trying to sell them, but I will tell the council that sometimes I believe that you want to work with individuals and you hope that you can work with them. And in this case, I believe that Petrie is somebody that I believe has worked well for the city. And when we had met with them, I was impressed with what they had talked about regarding their service. So unfortunately, whenever, and I'll go back and say this because I don't want to leave anything unsaid, the county had come to the city whenever the permit fees were a question. They had come actually to me, and when I didn't waive them, there was a certain individual that had told me that those fees would be recouped. And even though the council had agreed that we weren't going to waive our permit fees for the county construction projects. So it's one of those things where I certainly would look forward to working with the county, but as of right now, I don't have a lot of faith myself that this would be the best deal for the city at this time, and that's why we had went out for requests for proposals. Is it competitive? Yeah. Are they doing anything differently than they had done? No. But might this be an opportunity to recoup? Perhaps. And it bothered me because I was worried about what do we do in the future then? What about the next time? What do we do? So I think relationships are built on solid ground, and I think the county had been before the city council, and we certainly weren't on solid ground at the time. Has it changed? I have no idea, but we're looking at a 58% increase on the IT fees, how we stand. My understanding is there's no new people, there's no new equipment, but yet the city of Belvedere is going to get charged. And if we're going to get charged, we're going to make sure that we have individuals that we can work with. I hope we do have that. I would look forward to that, but as of right now, that's the one concern that I had. So it's up, Alderman Peterson.
So it went from 100% increase from 70 to 140,000 to actually a 71% increase, even given the 70,000 to the 120. So, I mean, it's not a very transparent way of doing business, and I don't feel comfortable being held to that kind of potential sticker shock the next time we have to renegotiate this. So I think it's best we keep our options open and keep them honest. We can certainly get bids anytime we want.
Okay, thank you. Alderman Albertini?
Thanks. So you don't feel that they arrived at this new price, being they researched, as we did, other companies, and felt that, well, maybe they were underselling themselves and they should come up to an equitable market like the other companies? Or do you feel that this is a retaliatory thing?
All I know is that what I was told, and I was told that there would be another, there would be opportunity for those fees that they wanted waived to recoup them. And, excuse me, is that's my opinion as on what I was told. That's what I was told. And so when I see an increase that sizable, I don't know what I'm supposed to believe, but I probably am going to believe what I'm told. And so that's where I was at with it, and that's the exact reason why that you have, we had went out and found 3 other requests for proposals. And I don't know if that answers your question, John.
No, it does, thank you.
I don't know. I mean, I can only surmise. I believe what I'm told, and then when I see an increase as sizable as that, then I'm certainly a little bit cynical. And my relationship with the county, I would like that to certainly improve, and I would like the city to improve, but it's a two-way street. And, I don't believe that the city as much grief, especially as what I took for actually doing my job and making sure that the permit fees weren't waived. I have no authority to do that. I made that perfectly clear, and then it seems like, and I was told that, that those fees would be recouped. So is that reprisal? I don't know. You can judge it. But I know what I think, and that's what I think. So you have these other ones in here as a option, and it's up to the council what you do. Whatever you want to do, you do it. That's up to you. But that's my reasoning, and if I left that off the table, that would be disingenuous on my part. I'm not going to do it. I think all the council was here whenever we had that discussion, and that's exactly what I was told. So, Alderman Fleury.
Thank you, Mayor.
Mm-hmm.
So I understand the sticker shock from the county, that what it was and what it's gone up to, but we did reach out to multiple companies and got back 3 quotes that are still higher than the county, so I can see how there would be some skepticism, but if we have it compared to 3 other reputable companies that are more than the county, it still seems like the county has given us the better deal and not any other thing going on. It's just my opinion.
And part of that, I looked at it, what are we going to do in the future? Do I come back then? Do we come back and do we get another increase such as this? I don't know, do we? But I do know that either of the other 2, Sundog is definitely out. We can't afford them. And the other ones are competitive, and they certainly are competitive after you go with 15 months and not to exceed. But is that somebody that I would want to do business with? It is. Alderman Peterson.
I agree, Mayor. This is, I looked at it as, it had been a partnership, I thought, and it wasn't like, I hoped that they didn't look at us like a cash cow or look at us like, we were just one of their markets. We have, after all, a good share of the county board gets elected from within the city limits of Belvedere, and they should represent us. relative to the county board per se. So I think that, you know, if we're gonna have a partnership, that's one thing, but this looks less like a partnership and just, you know, more like a city, let's have the city be our piggy bank on this. I mean, we didn't take this tack when it came time to close the landfill or to operate the landfill. We funded our share, and it was pretty straightforward, I thought. And, you know, I think we've tried to play it pretty open with them, but this looks more like a mercantile kind of solution instead of a partnership.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else? Alderman Stevens?
So we don't have any servers in our building right now?
We have nothing.
Okay, I thought we had them.
No,
We had all those,
not since 2020. What you do see in that back, we call it the server room, are switches that connect all of our computers to a firewall out through the direct connection we have to the county to our servers that are over there, but no actual servers in the building, with the
Okay, I
exception
thought-
of the video server that is streaming this video live over the internet.
oh, okay, I thought that all that stuff was a server back there, but okay,
Yeah.
we don't.
One thing I failed to mention, the county proposed contract, if I recall, and I can verify, does have a 180-day cancellation provision in it where we could cancel if we wanted to. Both the Petrie quote, well, the Petrie quote is a 4-year quote, but it is not a contract in the terms of the sense that they're locked in for 4 years. They could terminate it at will, as could we. But the pricing is set forth in the agreement for 4 years. And then the Entree quote really is just a quote for, this is what we're going to charge you on a one-time basis to migrate for bi-unit servers. After that, you want to keep using us, you can, at our hourly rates. So theirs is not a contract at all going forward.
Alderwoman Graham-Kowski.
Thank you, Mayor. Having just called IT today for a problem I had, I love the fact that we had it right on site, came up, fixed my problem, good to go. I've dealt with Entree before, and it's a phone call, and you have to wait. I mean, they were excellent, don't get me wrong, but you still have to wait, and sometimes that's just not possible. I like the idea of having education provided to the employees, because there's a lot of things you can solve yourself. You don't have to make that phone call, so I like that better than having to always rely on one person. And if we do that, as we continue to do that with the increased cost, are they going to have to hire another IT person?
Who?
The county. I mean, what are they going to have? I don't see where the volume's going to increase to justify that 70K.
They talk frequently about wanting a fourth person. This contract locks that in, so we would not be financing that fourth person. Through this contract,
Right.
and my guess is they'd probably slide that into the PSB budget anyway. But, yes, and in 4 years, who knows what the other ones will be, you can go to bid again. It really is up to the council which way they feel more comfortable going this time around.
Well, and with technology in 4 years, who's going to stay on a certain server?
I can't
You're probably
predict that
gonna go
from
to
now, between now, I can't predict next year.
That's a good point. Good point, Alderwoman. All right, any other questions? Alderman Burden.
Yeah, thanks, Mayor. So I just want to say that I watch every single county board meeting just about every Thursday night, and I strongly recommend everybody in this room watches these meetings so they can get familiar with both the personnel and the policies of the county. That being said, I could go either way with this, but I'm tending to lean toward the administration's recommendation because I think the administration deals with it way more than aldermen. I mean, we check email. I don't know if anybody else does something more, but you guys deal with it so much more. Those are my 2 cents.
Thank you. Alderman Hoynes?
Yeah, I'm not a big computer guy, but to me, seems like if we're getting the same basic service and they're doubling it, it'd just be like an outside service would come in and would bid, and they're saying, well, you know, you guys we bid way too low last time, and now we're gonna double it on you and just stick it to you. Well, if that's the case, I'm sure all of us would say, go kick rocks and we'll get somebody else, you know, to come in and bid it again for a reasonable amount. So I just think that it's a big shock for 70 grand.
Okay. Anybody else? Feel free. Floor's still open. Okay. All right, what do we have here? We have
Need a
nothing. Need a motion, if I get a motion. Alderwoman Gramkowski, did you have your hand up? No. Alderman Peterson?
Just to, I'll make the motion, and just to reiterate, Mayor, are you gonna recommend Petrie then as your?
That's who I would recommend, yes.
I would agree. I mean, and I don't think it's been specifically said, but, I mean, reading as I do what City Attorney Drell has prepared, I would say Petrie looks like the best option. I would make that motion.
All right, we have a motion then for Petrie with the terms that were provided here. If I have a second. Second by Alderman Hoynes. Thank you both. Discussion, any comments, any questions? Floor's open. Certainly feel free. Alderman Stevens?
If we do this tonight, and then we do it in a couple of weeks, how long is it gonna take them to get us up and moving?
Quite a while. You'll be paying two different providers for a while. 4 to 6.
Here's what I want everybody to understand too, is that I believe that we've had, with the county, we've had very good people that have worked on our equipment. I know that when we've dealt with Petrie, we've had very good luck, very good service from Petrie as well with, our introduction with them on our website. So I don't have any issues with that. My issues are, what do we do in the future? And, there is a certain amount of, there's a certain amount of trust that you have with whoever you work with. And in this case, I think the council that have been here have seen some of that, and it's been less than optimum, put it that way, or in my opinion, it's been less than great with what we currently have. And that's just my experience. So, and none of it was deserved. None of it that went towards me, none of it that went to the council, towards the council, was accurate. And so it is about who do you trust, who do you want to do business with. And in this case, I hope that we can move forward as we go with the county. I would hope so. But after I saw 100% a double down on the original quote, I guess I was wrong. So, Alderwoman Gramkowski.
Thank you. Just one more question. So Petrie did our website.
Mm-hmm.
Is there any reason why the county couldn't have done that? Do they not have the expertise, or is that just not something they were willing to do?
They don't do website design. Petrie's been doing our website since actually before 2020.
Okay, so if we ever need any future needs, we have someone to go to.
We do.
Petrie, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not on the table for this evening,
No.
correct?
No, I know, I'm just saying.
It is associated. They are associated, yes. Okay. Any other comments, any questions? Alderman Fleury.
Thank you, Mayor. So just to clarify, so between the county and Petrie would be, is that 15,000 more? Because I was confused by you said the internet, if that's included. So the county was 120 and then Petrie's 135, 134?
The county closest estimate, first year cost, $127,200 a year. That includes the Comcast dedicated fiber connections from both the City Hall as well as Fire Station 1, excuse me, to the PSB. The Petrie design quote of $134,500 includes an estimate provided by Petrie for the cost of internet service connection, ISP, both here and one at Station 1. It includes the migration, as did the counties, for their servers. It did not include the migration for the fire department's emails onto any kind of exchange or Microsoft product, which will probably have to be done unless we can find a way for Google to work for purposes of complying with FOIA as well as Local Records Retention Act. If we did that, that would increase their price by about $10,000 to $145,000.
and they will bring their servers. They will, well, I don't know. Are they going to be here? I don't know. Are they? Well, that's our equipment, but I don't know if they're going to be.
I'm not sure exactly what Petrie's solution is that way. My understanding is they're building a server. I do not know where it'll be located.
Yeah.
My guess is probably somewhere on their premises. They may also be trying to use Amazon cloud servers, I'm not sure. But I think their plan was to have a dedicated domain and file server.
That was my understanding.
But
yes.
it's not set forth in their proposal.
Okay.
Right, so at this point, the Petrie's already 10,000 more, and there could be some additional costs down the road
No,
that it's not accounted here. I mean, I get it, like the optics of the counties doubling, but again, like I said before, when we compare it to other companies, it's not an unrealistic amount. And I think, going with Petrie just sounds like there could be more costs as we go down the road, that now we have to migrate the fire department and all these other things that, ultimately that's costing our taxpayers more money off of a perceived hunch.
And again, migrating the fire department's email to the county server will increase the county's cost, but it's a one-time cost of $30 per user as opposed to a monthly cost of $30 per user.
Alderman Fleury.
Thank you. And I guess the other question is, so with Petrie, if that's the way the council goes, how long of a, is that locked? You said that's for 4 years?
They lock their prices in, when I say locked in, they have a 3% escalator, just like the county does. The county's is 3% or CPI, whichever's higher. Hopefully we don't see CPI over 3% again for a while. But they do have that 3% escalator, so the prices are locked in for 4 years. That does not mean that they couldn't terminate the contract earlier. They could, as could we.
And then just say if after 4 years, we're not satisfied with Petrie, so then if we went with another company, we'd have to pay for that migration fee again?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
One of the benefits, if we do have our own servers on site, which we may or may not, and one of the benefits to going to the cloud, to Alderman Gramkowski's comments, is if you did change providers, that would already be there, and that could just be picked up by the new provider. But in 4 years, you figure a server's lifetime, the hardware, 4 to 8 years is a lifetime. So you'd be looking at new stuff in the near future anyway at that point.
Okay, anybody else? Alderman.
Sorry,
Fleury.
just,
Sure.
I guess to echo what Alderman Barrington was saying about, so for the administration-wise, you're not completely satisfied with the internet services you provided, the IT support you're getting now, and hoping that Petrie will be a better solution for you?
I would hope so.
And all the city members?
I would hope so. Yeah. And in the future. Yeah. Any other questions? Okay, hearing none, we have a motion on the floor then. The motion is to go with Petrie Design with the terms that are included in the memo. Is any other question? Last chance. Any other comments? Hearing none, all those in favor of that motion will signify by saying, I'll tell you what, we'll do a roll call vote. Those in favor will, when their name is called, answer aye. Any opposed, nay. As the clerk calls the roll, please.
Albertini?
Aye.
Brereton?
Aye.
Fleury?
Aye.
Frank?
Aye.
Gramkowski?
Aye.
Hoynes?
Aye.
McGee?
Aye.
Montalbano?
Aye.
Peterson?
Aye.
Stevens?
Aye.
10 in favor.
Motion passed, thank you. We have tonight, item B, I'd like a motion to move into executive session to discuss collective bargaining matters pursuant to Section 2C2 of the Open Meetings Act and to discuss the appointment of legal counsel pursuant to 2C1 of the Open Meetings Act. If I could have a motion to that effect, motion by Alderman Peterson, second by Alderman Stevens. Thank you very much. All those in favor, will, when their name is called, answer aye. Any opposed, nay. As the clerk calls the roll, please. The only individuals that we would ask to remain, the department heads, gentlemen, feel free, and Sarah, well, not you, yeah. Yeah, you can stay. And everybody else except for the council and city attorney and our guest. And,
Roll call vote.
uh,
We got roll call. What?
Alderman
Oh, Peterson, Stevens.
Stevens, okay, so we need roll call?
Yeah.
All right, so in order to move into executive session this evening, we'll have a roll call vote. Those in favor, please say, answer aye. Any opposed, nay, as the clerk calls the roll, please.
Brereton,
Aye.
Flurry,
Aye.
Frank,
Aye.
Gramkowski,
Aye.
Hoynes,
Aye.
McGee,
Aye.
Montalbano,
Aye.
Peterson,
Aye.
Stevens,
Aye.
Albertini.
Aye.
10 in favor.
If you give me 3 or 4 minutes to get us off the air.
Motion passed, and for the record, we'll